the first question, I've got to hit you with this, and a bunch of people asked it, but the people I'm going to name are Knight, Prowl, Serbia, Ernads, Mazemind, One, Chris Topher, Bazemore, and what they want to know is, when can we expect when Man and Machine to be released? Well, when Man and Machine Collide to be released. Give me a date, Eric, else you fail. I need a date in a minute.
29, 32.
Do we know the situation?
Look, whatever I say right now is going to be dated right away, so I might as well just say what today's date is on my computer. Do you know the date today?
15th of April, my time.
I'm sure it's the 14th, buddy.
Yeah, whatever. You live.
Okay.
Stop living in the past, Eric.
Here's the way it's at. Is that we have Chuck, we have Richard, and they're finished. And there's, according to Shannon, there's 66 minutes of material.
That is an actual question you have answered there.
That's a lot of time. But besides that, we have nothing else done. Okay. Now that was for a technical reason. It took us 6 months to be able to salvage together all the issues related to Chuck, so that we had a bona fide full-length album with Chuck and Richard finished.
Chuck.
All that means is now we have to work on the other guys finishing it. Now, that said, this very week, we began the process of planning out the vocal end of things. The record label video where Tim could do his vocals. It turns out, by sheer coincidence, Tim used to work at that recording studio himself, so he was totally excited. And then in the midst of this flurry of wonderful emails between all former members, the burglary of Morris Sound was announced. And that is, some culprits broke into Morris Sound within the last few days and took all the equipment, or a lot of the equipment.
The interesting...
So, what that means to us is, I don't know. But whatever the adversity, like Chuck himself, we will overcome that adversity and we will finish this record. Because now we know at least that the record can be finished, and that all we have to do now is Shannon's parts, Steve's parts, and Tim has to sing it.
Well,
Tim has all lyrics and all of that kind of stuff that Chuck did, and also.
Well, you know, we could talk more about Morris Sound, but we won't for now because I know your stance. So, moving on.
Here's my stance.
So, moving on. A question from Freddie from Houston, Texas.
Freddie!
Who's Freddie? If you could, can you describe what When Man and Machine Collide will sound like? Now, I'm going to interpret Freddie's question. He wants you to hum the riffs and tap the drumming. That's what I think Freddie wants. So,
okay.
So if you could do the drumming in the riffs. Oh, there's Richard.
There you go.
Wow, that's
the first release.
That's some. I think.
When Man and Machine. I know the album. Obviously, I have all of Richard's work tapes upstairs in my living room. I have all of the original tracks that Chuck did, and I know
it is. It is.
It's like The Fragile Art of Existence times 2, because it's
over 9,000.
I mean, I think Steve DiGiorgio, who himself is one of the greatest bass players on the planet, he said this is incredibly technical, incredibly technical, complicated shit.
And that's coming from a competent player like Steve.
Exactly. And yeah, it is more complex than anything Chuck ever wrote. It's still toe tapping, and you can dance to it, but it's highly technical. So yeah, it's everything that everybody out there is salivating over.
I'm looking forward to it, man. The idea of it being sort of more complex is interesting. You know, I'm interested to hear some weird shit.
It's good.
By the way, the question you answered earlier when you said Man and Machine Collide is 66 minutes, that was asked by Rock Solid 36. because I'm getting those credits.
Let me just look. I don't know. No, I can't look right now.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Shannon said something to the effect that there are 66 minutes of usable material on there.
So. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's
use it all, but we have.
Well, it's a more useful answer than 14 seconds. It's going to be 14 seconds. I think.
Yeah, like if you would have asked me that question, I would have said, well, it's 14 seconds of Chuck.
That's better than 0 seconds. So, I think we could work with 14 seconds. But anyway.
But we have Chuck doing covers of Madonna.
Oh wow.
On tape, and that'll never see the light of day.
Next question, Alex. Alex. Next question, Eric.
I'm Alex. Hello, yeah. I'm Alex from Cannibal Corpse. How you doing? I've cut my hair.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that I'm not making sense at 5:20 in the morning.
Exactly.
So there's a question from Eric. There's a question from Alex Fiddle, and he says, "Any chance of
Alex Fiddle?
Yeah, I know
that. Alex Fidel?
Fight
or Fidel?
Fidel.
Alex Fidel. Alex Fidel here from Century Insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex Fiddle. Yeah, our friend from California.
Alex Fiddle. Riddle me this.
State University.
He says, any chance of a mini?
Quit fiddling with that.
Stop it! Stop that! Stop touching me! Alex says, any chance of a mini featurette DVD on the life of Chuck?
Of course there is.
Featurette DVD of the life. This question ain't coming. Is there going to be a featurette DVD of the life as a bonus disc to When Man and Machine Collide of Chuck's life, and would include such? And would such a DVD include rare controlled denied pics and maybe even videos from when Machine and Man collide?
I don't know if the incoherence is due to you or Alex, but I'll try to answer that one.
Let's redo this.
I have no idea. I don't know, because we have to, as I've explained with the process that we have, is that when it comes time, once the record is recorded and finished and mixed, then we will then have to begin the process of looking through all the stuff we have from that era and see what we have. Do we have enough to make a DVD? Do we have enough to make anything? I mean, we'll have to go through all that stuff to see what is viable to do.
It would be.
I know that Matt Jacobson, the owner of Relapse, he's totally into whatever we can put together. We'll release it if we agree on it.
It would be. I guess, one of the most useful dudes would be Shannon Ham, because anyone that wants to know about studio stuff, I mean, Shannon is the guy, isn't he? I mean, and
he's the person I would go to when I ask any technical questions about the record itself. I don't claim to be a total expert in everything that I'm.
Well, this is it, isn't it? I mean, guitar fans, guitar players, guitar fans, they get very picky. They want to know the cabinet, the speaker, the strings, the picks. They want to know the mics.
You know what? I agree with that. I want all that stuff out there, and I want to document all of that, and we will. We have already agreed with Relapse that we would, when the guys start recording their parts, we will start to film that process. So we have a budget for doing that. We're going to actually film it, film the process. Ian Christie and I have been talking about that. His wife's a filmmaker. Maybe they'll be involved. We will be doing it, but the thing is, we haven't started the process yet, and we were just about to start it when this Morrisound thing happened.
Sure. So that's a bit of a.
This is actually a very timely thing, because I just talked to Gordon Conrad at Relapse yesterday about it, and we're just finding our feet in the next few days as to what the next move is on the record. The one I do need to talk to find out what's going on is Jim Morris. From an email, the email bounced back, so I don't know what's going on. I'm going to send him a text, but I'm going to wait until next week to do that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you guys can't really lose, because you've said it yourself. Death fans, they die for death. So, well, control, deny death, whatever you want. So So the point is, if you if you put out a video of Chuck on a pogo stick, people will be like, oh my god, like they'd love it, because it'd be an extra bit of Chuck. Because if there's one thing the fans feel like there isn't enough of, it's just enough of the you can get all of the music you want, but what people really want is more of the person. So if they can get just a little bit of Chuck, telling a joke, telling a story, then that's
why I'm so proud of those 2 little videos I made. I'd never made videos in my life. I mean, I obviously walked around with a camera in my lifetime, but I've never edited together any kind of film thing. So from these 2 little clips, and then to see the kind of reaction that I've had from making those 3-minute clips, my God, I'm so excited really to find the time in the future to put together something longer than that. I just took the best little bits from over an hour of material on each front. That one trip to Europe I took with Chuck in '91, and the making of the Lack of Comprehension video. I just walked around with video,
if there's
big giant video cameras.
Yeah. I mean,
like a RPG.
There's a couple of.
I have all that stuff, so I can edit together something, and of course, all that stuff's going to come out.
I mean,
the anecdotal stuff, the Chuck farting, we used to, when we would take a shit, we would like look in the toilet and we would analyze the shit, like, oh, this looks like you're gonna have a really bad day, or boy, that looks like the Amazon jungle, that we used to analyze stuff like that, and I've got lots of footage of him talking like that, and I just gave a little glimpse of it on the.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I reckon that for a lot of fans, it's like there is a puzzle missing a lot of pieces, and for me, as a bit of a freak, I kind of love the idea that you have footage just before Chuck goes into was it Headbangers Ball?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like
that was in London, and I have footage of him standing in the hallway as we were walking in the door to be interviewed, and I've got the entire interview from my perspective, standing there with my RPG on my shoulder, taping.
But how
then
cool!
That very footage from Headbangers Ball has now been put up by somebody on YouTube.
But this is it.
It's like being in history for me.
Well, this is what I think is cool. It's like you can watch you guys, and then you can see the proper interview. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that, being able to get that little bit of connect that piece of the puzzle, and
while he was sitting there about to be interviewed, he made some kind of joke because the last person to sit on that throne on the set of Headbangers Ball was Glenn Benton. So I don't know if you can catch it, but and I don't know if I put it in that little clip, but he made some kind of reference about will some demons come out of the chair or something. And, that was the kind of joking guy he was, and he was always making funny jokes, and whether we were walking around Carnaby Street like we were on the day that we made on the day that we were in London, we were in Carnaby Street, and then Lee Dorian walks by from Cathedral, and Mandy's in it. I can't remember, but anyway, just little incidents and funny things that he would say. I've got a lot of that stuff on tape. It wasn't just me singing that
Shepherd's
Pie or whatever. That was an example, really, of the kind of shit that me and him did all the time. We always made up lyrics.
I mean,
and made song lyrics, and I've got a lot of that stuff on tape, including "Groovy Movie," a lyric that me and Chuck made while we were trapped in the hotel room during 105-degree heat during the making of Spiritual Healing.
I swear, you guys. It's such a random observation from me, but you kind of focus on it. But I swear you guys found the only Dunkin' Donuts in this country, and it was
It was right on Carnaby Street.
Yeah, and that's like the only one.